Hey everybody, Ben for the Bonehead podcast, and happy Saturday. We are doing a speculation Saturday today because there's been some stuff happening in the Blood Bowl world, not in the Games Workshop world, as you well know, but in the third-party world. And what we're seeing is a trend of artists that make incredible Blood Bowl stuff leaving Blood Bowl to work on other projects. So the reason I'm bringing this up is I logged on for Facebook today. I log on like every 2 weeks just to see what's going on. Actually, I was looking for more news on the new Dystopian Wars stuff because I'm kind of intrigued by that. Anyway, skip that. I saw a message. I saw a post from Lorenzo from Greebo Games, and I was like, that's quite interesting. So for those of you who've been in Blood Bowl for a while, you'll know Greebo Games. Like, they are one of, if not the biggest, I don't know if they're the biggest, probably they're up there with Punga, right, as being a third-party manufacturer that makes incredible sculpts for Blood Bowl and produces them physically. So they are, you know, the preeminent. Them and Punga are probably just the two best companies making third-party physical products. Like, there are loads of other great ones out there, do not get me wrong, but Greebo and Punga are kind of tip top, right? So Greebo has, well, I'll tell you what, let's read the message before we go any further. So after more than 20 years with Greebo Games, the time has come for me, Lorenzo Gusti, to begin a new adventure. Together with Silvia Corso, lead sculptor at Greebo Games, and Matteo Bellati, lead designer, over the years the creative team behind the projects you know and love, we are founding a new company, Nari Games. This decision was made with full awareness and mutual respect following an open and thoughtful dialogue with my business partner Alessio. I founded Greebo Games and built it step by step, first on my own and later with the support of extraordinary people who helped shape it into what it is today. Now, Greebo Games will continue its journey with new energy and vision under the leadership of Alessio Giusti. But why this change? Those who know me are aware that despite dedicating 2 decades to fantasy football, I was never truly drawn to the game itself. What has always driven me is the passion for turning that world into high quality miniatures. And I gotta say, Greebo they've never made a bad sculpt that I've seen. They've made some sculpts that I've not entirely toned with, and like, yeah, not to my liking, but never made a bad sculpt genuinely that I can think of. Which is phenomenal, right? They've made some brilliant sculpts, but yeah. So the truth is, my heart has always belonged elsewhere. I have a deep love for skirmish games, dark and immersive settings, rich narrative worlds, and evocative models. Nari Games is born from this shared passion, a desire to create something new and bold, inspired by the likes of Mordheim, Trench Crusade, and everything else that artistically excites us. As a final major contribution to the Greebo universe, we are about to release a complete restyle of the Unrenaissance, a team that back in 2015 marked our first true creative breakthrough. It felt like the perfect way to close this chapter with gratitude and pride. There will likely be opportunities for future collaborations between Nari Games and Greebo. To maintain a sense of continuity and legacy, some of our upcoming projects will be co-branded as Nari/Greebo. This will be our way of presenting ourselves moving forward with the same passion but a new creative direction. These past years have been truly special. I want to thank each and every one of you for your support, your messages, your purchases, and your kind words over the years. I hope to see many of you again in this new chapter with Nari Games. You can find links to our social channels in the comments. For now, get ready to welcome back the Unrenaissance. They are almost here. Meanwhile, long live the new Coach Pope. See you soon, Lorenzo. All right, so Greebo Games then, and I'm not going to dramatize this, but if they are genuinely losing their 2 top sculptors, that's potentially quite a big deal. And I just want to double check. Together with Silvia Corso, lead sculptor, and Matteo Bellati, lead designer, over the years, the creative team behind the project, we are founding a new company, Nari Games. Yeah, so they are losing. They don't have a new website yet. They've only got a Facebook page, which we can definitely have a look at in a second. They're finding that they're going off and doing their own thing and doing skirmish warfare. So this is the thing that I've noticed over the last year and a half. And it sort of started with Punga. Now, Punga they are clearly just wargamers. So if you look at like Punga's stuff, they have always, boop, let's move my little face. They've always had other bits going on. So they've got fantasy football, which is, they've got all their stonking great stuff. And then they've got warbands, which they did on their Patreon for a bit. They kind of did as well. Like you could back at the football level, you could back at the warband level, you could back at the supreme level. I have a problem, so I couldn't help myself. So I've got all the warbands there as well, and their STLs, which is wicked. And they've also got the Ratman Warriors, which they've created whole armies of as well. Now I have 100% pushed them to make STLs for a Cathay army. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That would be would be very sweet, because Punga do brilliant sculpts. But my point here, to bring it back, is that Punga are, like I said earlier, with Greebo, the preeminent third-party physical manufacturers for Blood Bowl that aren't Games Workshop. And they have also got a side gig in the way of Warhammer stuff, so war gaming stuff. And to see Greebo go a very similar way is quite interesting. Now, the other one is our buddy Ugni. Now, Ugni, we've featured on the channel. In fact, is it this week or is it next week? Next week's STL Sunday is going to be featuring their May release, which is the Not Crute. Now, Ivan is crushing it at the moment, and he's moving into the one-page rules world as well. And it's really interesting to see. You've got Punga making wargame content. You've got Ugni also moving into that kind of wargame. Now he's gone sci-fi, so into the one-page rules phase, where you've got these great not 40k models designed for like Kill Team, and I know he's working on full armies, which is dangerous for my resin consumption. And it's just showing a trend and a pattern. Now I couldn't love the Ugni stuff more at the moment. I'm utterly thrilled by the whole thing, and it's just the continuation of the cycle that I'm seeing in all of the content creators. Say all of the content creators. Let's move my face to here. Let's drop this down to here, because we can potentially see how they're going to do this. So this is the Nari game. So the reindeer ride out of season, a throwback to one of their favorite winter sculpts. So I'm looking to see, a style test for Trench Crusade. They are going deep on the what was the Kickstarter with the that was like totally gribbly and everyone absolutely loved for a bit and no one could get hold of? Oh, you know the one. You know the one. That is creepy. So that's really interesting. So yeah, they're going full Trench Crusade with these gribbly beast monsters, and that is actually something that's very, very, very cool. Nari Games will focus entirely on Trench Crusade and the grim horrors that crawl through its trenches. So we're going to see more. Let's see if we can go to the photos and see if we can see anything else. No, at the moment they've just got this. Oh, hello. Looks like we've got some more trenchy people and some very cool and gribbly models. Now, it's an interesting space. Trench Crusade and Mordheim, and it's so rich and depth. It will grab you. Like, it's just something to it. And I think when you spend a lot of time in Blood Bowl, the game is just, it sings in a way that hurts and pleases all at once. But that lack of immersion with no terrain, and you know, it makes those other projects seem a little bit more tempting. And I think I've been suckered into one-page rules recently, and I've been suckered a little bit into Trench Crusade, and do not get me wrong, I'm always thinking about Mordheim. Always. And Battlefleet Gothic, just for Kaijin chicken. But like, those games, they sit there and they lure the creative types, those who grew up, I think, in the 90s, the early 2000s, when they're the peak of specialist games, where you had the models were limited in a way. The subset of teams and stuff, like I've talked about this with Necromunda. In fact, we did a top 5 on this the other week, right? The games where you had not a huge amount of stuff, so you explored playing with it as much as possible. Blood Bowl, I've said, is the biggest and best of that. But Necromunda and Mordheim, and honestly Trench Crusade, the game outside the game is so rich and so deep that it is absolutely suckering all of these phenomenal Blood Bowl sculptors. So yes, I wanted to raise it with you because I thought it was interesting, because there's a couple of things going on here. One is this going to kill Greebo Games? Now, Sylvia and Lorenzo are great sculptors, but like, I trust Alessio and what he's done with the company, what he's going to continue to do with the company, that Greebo Games is not going anywhere and they're going to still continue to produce brilliant models. I think their lack of engagement in the STL space is risky. And I'm interested to see whether Nari Games are going to go down the route of STLs or whether they're going to go classic miniature manufacturing, and whether they're going to actually team up with Trench Crusade or not. So yeah, Greebo, the first question is, what are the sculpts going to look like in the future? They've said there might be a slightly a new creative direction. You know, Greebo always kind of had that World of Warcraft chibi-esque vibe to it. Is that going to change? Are they going to get more serious? And is that what we want in Blood Bowl? And the second thing is, what do you think this means? Is it that the guys who are doing Blood Bowl want to do a bit more, or is it that maybe they need to do a bit more? And more importantly than anything, will we finally get brute fun to make some damn squig hoppers and goblins for Warhammer Fantasy? Because dude, they are the best squigs ever. Come on man, give me some swords, give me some shields. I want to play Warhammer Fantasy Battle with a brute fun army. Come on, in the comments, brute fun, make fantasy battles please. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl and apparently some other things content. Happy blocking.